Hey everyone, it's Julian Gordon here, and it is day 3 of the Build Momentum 28-day challenge to finish and start your year strong. I'm so excited about today. Today, there's no particular page in the New Year guide, but it's just an overall framework for thinking about your vision and your dream. I learned visioning in a powerful way. It was actually when I was playing Little League Baseball. My coach was reading a book by Tony Gwynn called The Art of Hitting. And in the book, Tony Gwynn talks about, and Tony Gwynn is like the 13th best base hitter in baseball history. And in the book, Tony Gwynn talks about when he was in the dugout, when he was in the on-deck circle, prior to getting in the actual batter's box, he would envision getting hits through every gap in the infield and every gap in the outfield, so that once he got to the actual batter's box, the batter's box was actually rehearsal of what he had already played out in his mind. Right? So we had an all-star tournament and in Fremont, and we were in Oakland, and it was about a 45-minute drive. And instead of listening to the radio, our coach was like, I just want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine getting hits in every gap in the infield and every gap in the outfield. And so I did that, and during that All-Star tournament, even though I was the ninth batter, meaning that I was probably the weakest batter in the lineup, during that All-Star tournament, I hit 800, meaning that I got 8 hits out of every 10 at-bats, which even for Little League is pretty remarkable. And I attribute this all going back to visioning. I didn't know that's what it was at the time, and now I know how to use this technology and this tool set and apply it to my actual life, not just to baseball. And so I want to share with you some buckets and a framework to think about the way you navigate your dream, your vision, and your dream. For me, they're very synonymous, and so I want to give you a framework that I think will make it easy for you, because sometimes when you think about your vision, it can be so overwhelming, right? And you may not be able to know what all the pieces are, and your vision may feel blank to you. So I want to give you some buckets that I think will help you as you step into the actual New Year guide throughout this month. So the way I define dream is your desired relationships, employment, and money. Your desired relationships, employment, and money. Remember, I told you that I'm about increasing your income, intimacy, and impact. Well, your relationships are intimacy, right? And I'm not just talking about intimacy with your significant other. I'm talking about intimacy and with all of your relationships, being able to go deep and really have genuine connection. Employment is your actual impact, right? This is how you create change in the world. And I don't like to talk about work-life balance. I like to talk about having your life's work, right? And doing your life's work. This goes beyond just your job. It's your life's work. It's how you leave your legacy. And then money is, of course, income, right? And we all need a healthy amount of income in order just to be who we are. But if you don't know your value, if you don't know what your value is, then it's really hard to live out your values, and you're subject to other people living out other people's values when you don't know your value. And so the way you think about these 3 different buckets is as follows. So let's just start with desired relationships. Are you in communication with your spiritual source, whatever that is for you? Remember, I talked about desired relationships, not just being significant other. That's usually the first relationship that people go to. But it's not just that. It's really where if that person wasn't here, if you have that person, or if that person wasn't here, it really comes down to your relationship to your spiritual source, whatever that means for you. The next question is, are you in communion with your family? Okay, so now this means date nights with your significant other. This means dinner at the family dinner at the family table. This means connecting with friends. I tend to do that through potlucks or having lunch meetings with them, or even Google Hangout calls just to connect. Are you in communion? Are you breaking bread with the people you consider your family? And then finally, are you in community with your friends, right? How do you connect with people, whether that is playing basketball, whether it's running a marathon with a group of people, whether it's just hanging out for brunch? Are you in community with them? Are you in collective spaces where you get to simply just be who you naturally are? So these are 3 questions that you can ask yourself in the domain of desired relationships. The next is desired employment, and I like to think about desired employment in 3 ways. First question is, are you able to create value, right? Do you have the autonomy to actually move the needle forward in your organization, or are you paper pushing and you're not sure what your impact is? Are you being valued? This isn't just in terms of money, but in terms of the way people see you and perceive you. Are you perceived as disposable, that you can be replaced in a second? Or are you being valued? Do people honor you on your birthday? Do they say hello? Do they look you in the eye? Do they listen to you when you speak and listen to your feedback and your ideas? And then 6, are you doing work that aligns with your values? There's a lot of people out there who are making tons of money, but the work doesn't align with their values, and it's actually eating at their soul, right? And so let's just say you are a banker or something like that, and you have a particular set of values, but you're getting paid maybe $200,000 for the work that you do, but you just made somebody who does not share your values $1 million, right? At the end of the day, that's going to eat away at you. And so you have to make sure that the work that you're doing is actually aligned with your values. Okay. And then finally is desired money. Have you defined what is enough? Right. A lot of people say they want to be rich. You want to be rich. Okay. What does that mean? What's the number? And for all of us, we have the intelligence to calculate what the actual number is that we need to have the lifestyle that we ultimately want. For some people, that is $50,000 a year. For some people, that is 150. Whatever it is for you, get clear on what enough is so that you don't end up playing the game of more. Because the game of more is a never-ending game that keeps going and going and going. Then once you get clear on what is enough, do you have enough? Right? Am I actually making enough to earning enough to have the lifestyle that I deeply desire? Right? And then finally, do you know your value outside the context of a job? Especially for those of you who are out there who are not entrepreneurs, the way I like to think about it is that we're all already entrepreneurs. An employee is simply an entrepreneur who has one big client, and that is their employer. An employee is an entrepreneur who has one big client, and that is their employer. And if they lose that one big client, they're going to be in trouble. And so do you know your value outside of the context of a job? If your job was to fire you, excuse me, if your job was to fire you tomorrow, how would you earn money? What is the skill set that you would sell to the marketplace? If you had to become a consultant or a coach immediately, what skill set or what result or outcome would you sell that you could actually get people to faster, safer, and easier than they could on their own? And once you know that value, whether you just test it out, right? Whether you are just have a side hustle where you have one client that's actually paying you $3,000 for coaching or for consulting on the side, it actually gives you more power and strength in the work that you do because you don't have this fear of getting fired because you actually know that you can earn income. You actually know what your value is outside the context of a job. And let's say you have no entrepreneurial ambition whatsoever. In order to know your value outside the context of just your job, I encourage you to interview once a year. Not saying that you're going to quit or even accept any offers, but just go interview and see what kind of salary numbers you are able to get with the skill sets that you have. All right. So again, there's no page in particular for today's video. This is really just a framework to get you thinking about your vision and your dream for the upcoming year in these three buckets of desired relationships, employment, and money. Again, this increases your income, your intimacy, and your impact. So with that, I want to say thank you so much. We are currently at $1,301, pushing us to 11% for our $12,000 build fundraising goal. I'm so excited. We had a big jump on day one as people started getting engaged with the Build Momentum campaign. Feel free to share this campaign with other people wherever they are, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter. Feel free to use the links above to share this video and share this campaign with other people. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much. Peace.